Hello, Year 7. Today I'll be showing you just a tutorial on how to create your elephant and rhino animorph. Now, you will have already done the sea lion and penguin. This goes through some new techniques, so make sure you listen carefully and complete as you go. So complete one step and then watch the next step and complete the next would be the easiest way to do this. So this is what you're going to create. Now, on your Google Classroom post, you should have received a file of an elephant and a rhino. Please use these ones. Don't use any ones off the internet because we've got some lovely, nice, high resolution photos here for you to use. So we're going to start by opening a new file. We go File, New. Now, for the sake of this task, we are going to use a print size. So you will be able to print this at some stage and hang it on your wall, or we can hang some in the art room. So we're going to go to Print. We're going to click on A4. Now, for this particular image, it works best as landscape. So we're going to click on landscape and press create. Now, very quickly, you should see the resolution should be 300 and it's preset anyway. So that's a good print resolution. So press create. Great. Now we've got a nice blank empty canvas. Now, if you watch your Photoshop Basics tutorial, you will have a good understanding of where things are in Photoshop. So we're going to now place the files into the canvas. So File. Now in Microsoft Word, you might use the word insert. This one here, we say place embedded. So we're going to go and find your files. So you can see the elephant and the rhino are here. I'm going to hold down Shift. Oh, it doesn't let me select two, never mind. One at a time. Elephant place. Okay, and just press enter. We can see a lovely big elephant on our canvas there. Now I'm going to insert the rhino while I'm here. File, place embedded. Now I'm going to select my rhino. Great. So down here in the layers palette, you can see you've got your rhino and your elephant layer, and we've got a plain background layer. Now, if you don't have this set up already, I really suggest you open it up. It's called the history. When you press Control Z, usually in any sort of program, you can go backwards one step. Whereas with the history, you can go back many steps. So to find that and to find any palettes that you're missing, go to Window and you can select palettes to be on or off. Okay, so history palette, and you can see I've got it open there. Great. Press enter. So we've got our two animals here at the moment. With this visibility, we can turn it on and off. So I just want to work on the elephant first up, so I'm just going to turn the rhino off, and we can see we're working on the elephant. Just make sure you've got it selected, otherwise you're going to come into trouble when things aren't working. So always make sure you've got your layer selected that you want to work on. I'm just going to turn this background layer off so you can see what's going on here. You can see there is a background that we need to deselect from our elephant. It is white. I'm going to go through a couple of the selection tools here today. So then you'll be able to pick and choose when you do create your own animorph, which one would work best for you in your situation. So we want to delete this white background. I'm going to show you how to use the magic wand tool. So the magic wand tool lives with all the selection tools up here. This is the selection tool family. If you can't access a tool, if you click down and hold, you'll see there's a little menu that comes up. When you see that little tiny triangle just there and you click and hold, you can then access the tools that are sitting underneath. So we're going to use the magic wand tool here today, and I'm just going to leave all the default settings on it. In my next tutorial, I'll show you how to modify that. So I'm going to select the bit that I don't want. And what a selection does is it selects a part of the image so we can do something to that part of the image and not something else. So I'm just going to click on this white background. This is a lovely, nice, easy image. It does get a little bit harder. We won't go into it now. I'm going to press backspace or delete. It's just not editable. My bad. Over here, you have to right click. You have to say rasterize layer. And what that does, it turns into a flat image for Photoshop to work with. Now when I press delete, the background disappears. Now those little marching ants or selection, to get rid of those, you deselect. The shortcut for that is Control D. Right, now we've got our elephant cut out, which is great. The next step is going to be cutting out the rhino. So I'm just going to turn the elephant off for now and turn our rhino on. Now we want to cut the rhino out. Now, if I was to use my magic wand there, I'll show you what happens. So what the magic wand is actually doing is selecting areas of a similar color. Okay, so it's selecting areas of a similar color. You can see what it's doing there. Now, because this is a very busy image, and it's quite a busy background, and there's lots going on here, this isn't the best tool for us to use in this case. I'm going to show you how to use the quick selection tool. So the quick selection tool lives with the selection tools with the magic wand, but just one above it. Now, you watch how this works. So what it's doing, if I'm pulling down, now I'm holding down my mouse. So what it's trying to do is select this part of the image. Okay, and you can see I'm sort of moving my mouse. I don't want to go any further than the rhino because then it's going to start selecting the background, as you can see. Okay, I've gone too far for the purpose of that demonstration, Control D, but I'll just start again. So I'm clicking, holding, and dragging. So my aim here is to select the rhino. So I'm just sort of hovering near the edge that I want to select. And I will show you in a minute how to subtract or add to your selection if you do go too far. So I'm still holding down on my mouse. You can see this is much more effective on this image than the magic wand would have been. Oops, gone a little bit too far, but I'll show you how. I think the key thing with this and selecting an image is to select an image that the background stands out a lot from the image that we want to select. If it's too similar or it's too busy, it doesn't stand out, it doesn't contrast, you will have a hard time selecting. So you can see there, if I just kept going, it's actually selected my rhino, which is fantastic. It's a pretty good selection there. You can see in here that we need to subtract that from the selection. So you'll see there's some little tools up here, and with a little plus and a little minus for addition and to subtract. So if you ever hover over a tool and you want to know what it is, if you hover long enough, you'll get that little orange text that tells you what it is. So I want to subtract that from my selection. So I'm just going to hover over that, and see what it did? It subtracted that little area. And if I look around and I follow my eye around the edge of the rhino now, that looks like a pretty good selection. So what I need to do again, right click, I need to rasterize that layer. Now I could have done that before as well. And that becomes an image. Now if I press delete now, it actually deletes everything that I want because I selected the rhino itself. What we're going to tell Photoshop now is we want to reverse that. We want to invert that. So we're going to go up to the select menu, select, inverse. Now when I press delete or backspace, it actually deletes my background. So to do that again, you go to the select menu because we're trying to do things to do with select, and you press invert and it will select the opposite, you might say. Okay, so deselect, Control D. Right, so now I've got an elephant and a rhino. Now this first tool up here is just simply the move tool, so I can move my objects around. Now there's a few things we have to do here. First off, we want to flip the rhino's head so it's facing the same direction as the elephant. So what we're going to do, make sure we've got our rhino layer selected. We're going to go up to edit because I want to edit and transform. And I'm going to go flip horizontal, not vertically. You want to flip it horizontal. Right, there we go. Okay, so we've got to do a little bit of resizing. I might just turn my white layer back on so we can see what we're doing. I might move my elephant over a little bit. Oh, not even. I think he will fit. Okay, so let's leave that there for a minute. Now go to my rhino layer. Now we're going to transform or resize. You should already be aware how to do this. Control T means transform. And it keeps its lovely proportions there. Now what we want to do is put our rhino in position. I think we are going to have to move our elephant, resize our elephant. So I might just resize our elephant, Control T. Enter. A quick way to select a layer. Oh, it's already doing it, never mind. Okay, Control T. Now I'm just going to rotate it because I've done this before and I've found that's the best way it's going to work. Okay, so I'm just going to rotate it and put it into position. You can have a little play around with this, but I'm just transforming. I can use my arrow keys as well if you want to be a little bit more accurate. I just might move that over. You can see what I'm trying to do with the leg there. And I might twist it just a touch, or I might just bring that down a little bit and press enter there. Right. Okay, that looks like it's going to be in a place that we can blend. So what next? I'm just going to cut out the elephant that we don't want, and then we'll do some nice blending of the two creatures together. So I'm going to show you another selection tool here. It is called the lasso tool. So it literally works like a rope lasso. So I'm just going to draw around what I don't want here. Okay. Now, a lot of you got to do this and go, oh, deleted the wrong thing. That's because I've got my rhino selected and I need to have my elephant selected instead because I want to delete from the elephant. Okay, Control D. Last step I'm going to do in this part of the tutorial is just create a mask, and I'll show you what masks do. It basically allows for error and allows you to go back and add to the creature you've deleted. And you'll see what I mean when I demonstrate. So to create a mask on the layer, you click on this down here. It says Add Layer Mask. And then on the Rhino, we add a layer mask. Okay, I'm just going to stop there. Hopefully you've got up to this stage, and I look forward to seeing your work.